I met my girlfriend's family for the first time last month. Her father spent 4 hours explaining to me why I wasn't good enough for her on land my family has owned since 1961. Sabine and I had been together 9 months before she brought me up to Napa. Her parents run a boutique winery, the kind with a tasting room that requires a reservation and a wine club with a waiting list. I'd seen the bottles in restaurants. She'd never made a thing of it, which is one of the reasons I liked her. I drove up in my truck. It's a 2009 with a cracked windshield and a toolbox in the bed, and the guy directing cars on the gravel actually pointed me toward the service road before Sabine came out and told him twice that I was a guest. Her father, Gerald, shook my hand like he was checking it for dirt. Dinner was an interview with wine. "And what do your people do?" her mother asked in that voice that's all vowels and no warmth. I said my dad farms. I watched it land. She said, "Oh, how earthy," the way you'd say it about a smell. Gerald started in on stewardship. That's the word he used, over and over. How this estate had been in the family since 1998. How Sabine would inherit a legacy. And how legacies require partners who understand capital preservation. He actually got out his phone during the main course to show her a chart. Her brother Tate did the funny part. He asked whether I'd ever had wine that didn't come with a screw top. When I reached for a glass, he said, "Careful, that's the Bordeaux one." And the whole table laughed for a long time. I sat there and ate my duck. After dinner, her mother walked me out to the terrace and told me Sabine deserved someone from her world. Then she handed me a folded check for $30,000 for a fresh start and told me she hoped I'd take it in the spirit it was offered. The finish was Gerald pulling Sabine aside during dessert, loud enough to carry, telling her that men from modest backgrounds sometimes see a woman like her as a shortcut, and pressing a card on her for the son of someone from his golf club. Preston's father and I have known each other 30 years. Here's what none of them had bothered to ask. My last name is Vasquez. My grandfather came up from Michoacan in 1958 and started pruning other people's vines. By 1961, he'd bought his first 40 acres. My father and my aunt run it now. Vineyard management and land holdings across 4 counties. About 11,000 acres. Most of it leased out to labels whose names you'd recognize. I'd never told Sabine, because the last woman I dated found out in month 2 and got strange about it. And I wanted 9 months of somebody liking me before that entered the room. And their estate, the legacy, the 1998, the stewardship, is 140 acres of ground leased dirt. Their tasting room, their crush pad, their gravity flow winery, all of it sits on land my grandfather bought before Gerald was born. They've renewed with us 3 times. The renewal was on my father's desk that week. I knew because I'd read it on the plane. My phone rang during dessert. I'd normally let it go. I did not let it go. I put it on speaker and set it on the tablecloth. It was my aunt. She said the Hollis Ridge renewal packet was ready, that the rent reset came in higher than the last cycle, and asked whether we were sending it to their council Monday, or whether I wanted to walk it over myself since I was already up there. Then she asked if I'd be back for the board meeting Thursday. Nobody moved. Sabine looked at me and said, "Hollis Ridge is us." Her mother put her glass down badly, and it went over. Tate's face did something I'll remember for the rest of my life. But Gerald had spent 4 hours describing what a legacy is, and he sat there working out that he'd been leasing his from a farmer. The apologies came fast. They were embarrassing. He kept saying they'd had no idea, and asking why I hadn't said anything. I picked up Preston's business card off the table and said I'd wanted to see whether her family would take me as I came in, and that I'd gotten a very clear answer. Then I left the check on the tablecloth. Sabine and I talked for a long time that night. She was hurt, and she was right to be. I'd let her sit at that table without armor, and I'd let her family hang themselves for my own satisfaction. 9 months of honesty, and I'd been holding one card back the whole time. We lasted another 4 months. It didn't survive. The lease renewed, by the way. Same terms as the market, no more, no less. My father wouldn't have done it any other way, and neither would I. She texted me in June. She's seeing a high school biology teacher. Her parents can't stand him. She wrote, "Turns out I like the ones who don't impress my dad."